We're live. What's going on, everybody? It's the Shooting After Dark podcast here, and we're here with Ty and all. And today's video is pretty much gun grabs. And then, if you've been listening to the last few, we just kind of ramble off on different topics. Anyway, who wants to?
I'm getting a lot of weird feedback from you. You sound like a robot.
I always do because action sucks.
Yep. Well,
all right.
So gun gripes can go from, just everyday stuff to long term. I think one of my biggest gun gripes, I've probably already talked about this a couple times, when people come in and firearms and act as if they do. That's my number one gun gripe.
Don't you love those people though? And the thing is when they bring a friend, they feel the wrong information, and then when you try to talk to them and try to correct them, you look like a moron.
Yeah. What's the thing? You try and correct something like that, it's not going to get through to them, and to them, you're just going to sound like an asshole. So there's no point really trying to reason with those people. You just got to let them, think what they want to think and go along with it. That's like I tell everybody, everything with guns is just like the same thing with the whole car. Nobody really makes a bad gun or a bad car per se. At least it's a certain level of quality, because nobody wants to get sued this day and age. But you just brands you prefer and what you're willing to put into it.
Yeah, and that's that gets to that another point. You pay for what you get. You buy a $200 high point, you get a $200 high point. You pay $1,300 or $800 for a Zev Glock, you get a Zev Glock.
Well, I'd like to know
same with cars.
Zev, I'd like one.
Go ahead. I actually shot one the other day
for $800.
Yeah,
that was the price. That's not bad at all. It's cheap.
Yeah, a guy offered to let me buy it from him for $800. I was like, okay,
that's a good price. Usually they're at least $1,000 or more at the very least.
Yeah. What is this? Travis, gun grab?
I hate people bringing their used gun and think worth like retail.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you have lots of ammo through it, or half a box, 500 round or 500 boxes. We're gonna base it off of. I don't know how guys do it, but up here, every day you can go into the book guns, which I don't really like, because the blue book, Kelly blue book, the price is already shaved off, and then from the price in the blue book of guns, we'll take our percentage off it. The are pretty cool. But if you come in here with an A, say, hey, I want 700 for it. Well, no, I can sell you a Sentry brand new for $7.
Mm-hmm.
And I warn them when they bring it in. I say, hey, look, our prices are a little low. It's a buyer's bid right now because of the election. I don't mean to insult you, but it's not going to be around probably what you're looking for. And then I research on it on the price, and they sit there and chew me out. And it's one of those. It's not, I'm just following what management puts with the customer, all this to kind of rules in there, and we don't make the rules. If we could offer you more, we probably would.
Like you said, the problem therein lies. People think that their stuff is worth more than what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand. When you're buying something from them, you're buying it to resell it, not to keep it as a personal gun. That's like what I explain to people whenever I take trade or buy something. I tell them, it's not. I'm not saying that your gun's not worth what you want, because it is. But understand that that's what I have to sell it for, and I have to have room to come down, because every time somebody buys a used gun, what's the first thing they say? Oh, what's the best price you can do on it? So,
and working in, before I got to the gun shop, working in the pawn shop, that's the first thing people hit you with. Can you get, how much lower can you go? Not much. We buy them in for low and we don't price them too much over. There's that mythical line at 10%.
Well, I would tell people my golden rule, and as far as I know, most gun shops in my area have the same deal. Expect that on every gun that I have that's a used gun, I mark it up by $100 because somebody's going to ask me what's the best I can do, and I'm lucky to make $50, maybe $75 on a used gun.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just how you sell stuff.
Up here in PA, at least around my current area, everybody's doing a markup of 6% on used firearms, except for one shop who's only doing like 50 to 55%. The gun for $399, then I'm going to pay a $239 for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that percentage is a little high. Majority of gun shops have to make their money on used guns because selling guns you don't make that much on.
Actually, I'd say is a bigger market than even new guns. That's because it's always going to be a little bit cheaper, and there's usually nothing wrong with them for the most part.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's what I noticed. I sell mostly used stuff.
My area is kind of weird. Come in, we have really nice used Glocks that were barely ever used, and they'll just turn around and just buy a brand new gun.
Well, maybe that's the area, just because like you said you're in Florida, so maybe it's just I don't know, just something.
It's weird. In my opinion, I'd buy a used gun before I would a new gun if I didn't have the money. Like we had a Glock 42 that had a Streamlight TLR6 on it. Had the TLR6, but also had a the Perry grip finger extension.
I
don't remember the price on it, but it was like $10 more than a new gun, but it had a $150 light on it already.
Right.
Nope, I'll just get the used one for $10 less. I was like, so you don't want the $150 light for $10? He's like, no, I like the new one. It's new, so I know there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's a Glock. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people look at attachments on guns, and they're like, hey, if I throw in that used light, the used scope for whatever for what it is, I'm like, yeah, I can do that. But
the gun world is an odd world. You have people that won't buy anything other than used guns, and you'll have people that won't buy anything other than new guns.
Well, I think it's just because the whole clientele is just changing. You used to have the old guys who used to buy stuff because it's what they liked and it's what they knew. But now you have a younger crowd that's starting to come in and buy stuff. But they only buy something because they saw it in the latest magazine or it was promoted at SHOT Show, and it's because they're buying stuff because it's what people are telling them is good, but they're not actually trying stuff for themselves.
Yeah.
You're only seeing the things that are in magazines or in TV commercials or whatever. People are making their own decisions.
We have a couple of old guys that come in pretty not regularly, but probably once every 2 months or so, and they like to build their collections, and these guys have an M1A collection that is like to die for. And they probably buy a new M1A every 2 months. That's because that's what they started with when they joined, the Army and the Marine Corps, is the M1 or the M14. and then they won't buy any other handgun except a Colt 1911. And it has to be the original GI. It can't be any of the new fancy stuff.
I have a little gripe about 1911s. Look,
they're the greatest thing, and there's nothing to complain about.
Right lately here, bud.
Here's the thing. I like the 1911. It's a great gun, and the only doubt is I don't have one yet. But here's what really irritates a lot of me, especially when people come in and they say, "I don't 1911. I want one, and I want a Kimber." No, you don't. At the old gun shop when I worked there, Kimbers we had Kimbers and we had Dan Weller beside each other, and I pulled out a Kimber and I pulled out a Dan Wesson, and I said, "Guys, one of each gun, one at a time." I said, "Which one felt better?" And they just said, "Oh, the one on the left," which was the Dan Wesson. I said, "You can get higher quality 1911 for $2 to $3 more," and they're like, "So that wasn't the Kimber?" And I'm like, "No, it's not. Don't recommend Kimber to," because I've heard news about their customers and about their.
See, the thing with Kimber is I think they're too stuck up. I mean, well, let me rephrase that, actually. I'm telling you wrong. In the past, Kimber used to be very hard to deal with, like, customer service-wise. I think they've always had good quality guns. But if you ever had one that had a problem, they were just like, they didn't want to deal with you. They said, "Oh, how many rounds you put there?" Well, if I'm paying, over $1,000 for a gun, I shouldn't have to have like a 500 round break-in period. It
should be broken already.
I will say that recently they have done better on that. I've had to send a Kimber back in the past month or so, and this last run-in I had with them was actually quite more pleasant. I didn't get all that extra backlash. I think that's part of what they're trying to do as a company. They're trying to improve their customer service, which was my only real gripe with them. I mean, I think they're good guns. I think they're a little overpriced for what they are good guns.
I think good.
And as you guys know, I'm a huge 1911 guy. I will back a 1911 all day and all night over any other gun, and that's just because I'm a 1911 guy. Austin, if you have a 1911 or not.
Yeah. Let me tell you what mine is. And I'm going to catch a lot of shit from people for it, but you know what? I only own one, and I've never had an issue with it once in my life.
Rock Island.
It's not an expensive 1911 by any means, but as long as they're constructed to mil spec, specs, I guess, I don't see what the problem is. As long as they're good parts, made to the right specs, you've got a good design.
You know what's funny? I have a lower end 1911 than you do, Austin. I have a Citadel, which is the low end of Rock Island.
Yep. Exactly.
And I'm going to catch a lot of shit for this, and I don't care. I have a 9mm 1911.
Oh, you.
Now, I like the 9mm 1911. I like that a lot, actually.
I like the idea of it, but
it's
1911.
So, I will contest. I wish I would have bought a 45, but I am glad I bought the 9 for my very first handgun.
That is just ammo cost. Really, it's just practicality. You don't.
I can put shots on top of shots faster than I can with my 9mm 1911 than I can a 45 1911. Not because of the recoil or anything, just because it's easier to control. I love it. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you have a 9mm 1911." I'm like, "Yeah." But when it comes down to it, who's going to be able to shoot who faster, I think I'm going to win.
Maybe. I'm not going to fully agree with that, but I'll respect the opinion.
I'm going to get shit for this. All of my handguns that I own are fired.
Or what? I couldn't hear you.
All of my handguns that I currently striker fired. I do not have a handgun.
You need to change that.
I mean, That's fine. If you like being a woman. I mean,
Hey, now I like the consistency of the trigger pull. I hate single double.
well,
It
see,
needs to be single only or double. I don't like that inconsistency of the heavier trigger pull and the
you done
shorter
you
pulls.
done gone too far, Travis. You done gone too far.
Hey, I know. Yeah, I know.
My favorite,
I like her
my
fired.
my number one gun on my top 10 guns to own. I should say top 20 because I have 10 handguns, 10 rifles. My number one gun on my handgun list is the FNX 45 TAC. It is downright probably one of my favorite guns. I don't like it. Double action, single action option to it, and it just feels good to shoot.
Yeah, Travis, you can't argue with that. You shot my FNX, and you know how nice it is.
I will say it's very smooth. The only issue I have with it, I have small hands, and it's a little hard for me to grip properly.
Our fault that you
They
got.
make adjustable back straps.
But here's the other thing: stippling that they did, that triangle design, that extreme like aggressive design. After you shoot a few mags through it, your hands hurt a bit.
Well, it's not their fault that you have woman hands.
And totally.
I tell you, when I come up, you gotta shoot that. I got that new 509.
Oh,
Yes.
the 509. It is such. I will say it's a little glocky.
Kidding me?
It's not a thing.
It is a little glocky, which is pretty much what everybody's doing right now. Is a Glock styled.
Well, you know what the FN, or yeah, the FN, yeah, the 509 is. It's they took the frame from an FNS, just made it a little bit longer.
Yeah,
it's exact FNS.
Which we had a 509 in the shop, and I really thought about picking it up until Travis.
I'm just not a big end guy. I mean, I hate them, but they're not on my top like 3, 5. They're not on my top 3. I don't really listen for it, honestly.
It's all just personal preference. Like I said, Ford and Chevrolet, Dodge, all that.
Here's the thing, right? My girlfriend's dad bought a little car 9mm, and I don't know what to think about it. Then I shot it, and that car has a very trigger for what it is. He got a little compact guy.
You want to talk about the worst customer service, though? Car Arms is the hardest to deal with.
No,
you can't give them back to them.
No, they won't accept anything. We had a CM9 in the shop that customer wanted to buy, and they're like, well, if you want to buy it, we'll go out there and demo it. And we went out there and tried to pull the trigger, and it just wasn't going bang. So we left it to the side. We got them into a Glock 43, a proper gun, and called up car and was like, hey, we have one of your handguns. It's just not firing. They're like, oh, sorry. How long ago did you get it?
Sold as is.
I was like, well, we've had it in the shop for like a year. And they're like, oh, it's out of warranty. We're sorry.
Oh, that's bull.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy Car Arms just because of their service. And honestly, even like they have a super long break-in time, and the slides on those guns are always extremely hard to rack. They're super stiff.
Mm-hmm.
I've just never been impressed by Car Arms, and I personally wouldn't buy one. But that's just my preference.
Let's see. So I had another gun gripe that I wanted to talk about, and I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
The arguments that we had a guy that I worked with, we called him Cowboy Bill or Wild Bill, depending on who you were talking to, because he always wore a cowboy hat and he was a retired game commission officer.
Was that the guy you said that carried the single action revolver every day in the shop?
That's him.
That's,
It's the only thing he owns are rifles, revolvers. Because, and here's like if you like just because we didn't really see or agree 100% with him, if he's more accurate revolver, it means revolver. But revolvers are more accurate than semi-autos because the barrel doesn't move. And then after we argued that fact with him, he goes, okay, the truth is I just can't hit with a semi. I'm more accurate with the revolver because that's what I grew up shooting. Statement is a whole lot better than saying a revolver is more accurate barrel move.
Oh, God.
No, accuracy is in the shooter, and it always has been and always will be.
Unless it's a Taurus.
Agree.
No, dude, honestly, I think, Travis, you just had a bad run-in with Taurus.
Yeah, I've shot Taurus PT 1911s, PT 111s, and
now I'm not a huge fan of Taurus's semi-auto stuff. Again, my preference, but I do like the revolvers myself. I think you just had one of
you can't mess a revolver up though. That's the only thing.
Well,
oh yes, you can.
You can, but
Chiappa.
Picture of a Chiappa that's pieces.
Oh, we had
a lady
Facebook page come in with a 6-inch gold Chiappa Rhino. Okay.
Yep. So, they make them.
I was like, that's cool. It's cool. It's something you put in a glass box and you sit on the shelf and you never shoot because it's a toy. It was cool. And then she's like,
about polishing a turd.
I would put on my best Joker cosplay costume. That thing.
Well, okay, so she gets out there and she's shooting 357 magnums out of it. All right, and she's like a beanpole. Like this woman was just super tiny, and she's like, "Oh, I got this." Blam, blam, blam. She's like launching, 6 shots of 357 down range like it ain't nothing. And then she's like, "Can you guys special order a gun for me?" I'm like, "Sure. What is it?" She's like, "Well, it's a Chiappa Rhino, but it's the white Rhino, or 2 3/4 inch barrel."
So dumb.
And I was like, "You realize the recoil on that's going to be substantial, right?" And she's like, "Oh no, it's fine. I can handle it." My friend got one and I shot it and loved it. So we found that $1,800 white turd. Like when a dog like poops in the yard and it sits there in the sun and bakes and now it's white.
I think that's only a Florida thing, but okay.
Speaking of gun, that is one of my biggest gun gripe. Is when somebody tells me they want a snub nose 357 Magnum or 44 Magnum.
Look here, Smith & Wesson just re-released a Model 69. That's a it's like 3 5/8 inch barrel, 44 mag 5-shot.
Well, you see, once you get close to that 4-inch barrel, that's when it changes the game a little bit. But when you think under a 4, the problem is with a Magnum cartridge, what people don't realize is it looks cool, sure. When you shoot it, you're going to have that big fireball that comes out of your gun.
That bullet isn't doing anything.
It looks great, but as an experienced shooter, what that tells you is that's all lost energy.
Mm-hmm.
You have powder that's burning outside of your barrel, not behind that bullet. You're losing energy. But when you shoot a non-Magnum cartridge through the same size barrel, you have much less fireball, which tells you have more energy being transferred in the direction that you want it. But it just kills me when people want these short little Magnum revolvers, and they look at me funny when I ask them to their face, why? Why do you want that?
Yeah.
But they just don't understand it, and I just wish people would, have
it's
a little bit better ballistics when they
Alaskan. The things,
God.
The Ruger Alaskan's built on a Super Red Hawk frame with a short barrel.
Yeah, and 454 because that makes sense.
Yeah. Understand somebody buying it and then shooting 44 special out of it?
Well, you couldn't shoot 44 special.
You can.
44 because they come in 44 and 454.
No, if you buy a 44 Magnum, Alaskan, you shoot the 44 Special.
No, you cannot. I own one.
Yeah, you can. That's
No, you
like
454. You can shoot 45 long Colts through, not 44.
Are you not listening to me, Austin? 44
Probably not.
Magnum. We're special out of.
Yes, the 44.
That's what I'm saying. I could care less about the 454 Casull.
You blasphemous fool.
The 454 Casull is a bitch when it comes to those size rounds. If you're gonna go that big, just get a 500.
No, worse sense because you can't shoot anything else out of it. You have to shoot 500. If you're gonna get a
if
big
you're gonna man up,
expensive.
if you're gonna man up and get a 454, just be more of a man and get a 500.
No, get a 460 and be a smart man. So you can shoot 460, 454, and 45 Colt. You have three things you can shoot instead of just one obnoxiously large and very expensive caliber.
Reload.
Not all of us that luxury of reloading.
I mean, in price.
Well, if you're gonna get that big of a gun, Travis, you have to start reloading. It's like owning a 50 BMG. Are you just gonna go to the Wally World and pick up 10 rounds of 50? No,
I live in Pennsylvania. I do not have a reason to have a caliber that big.
Yeah, you do. Bears.
So I don't live up in the mountains of Pennsylvania.
If you need a 50 to solve your bear problem, there's a bad bear problem.
You need to figure out why you live in bear country. Not just go into Bear's Den and call it home.
We had a lady call up, and you think because we're in Florida, we wouldn't deal with bears. All right, and just bears in Florida don't really make sense. We have bears. She
Really?
calls up. Yeah, we have bears. It's kind of crazy.
Swamp bears.
Swamp bears.
Swamp bears. Come out of the water. Swamp bear.
I just see bear, like just a drenched, wet, soaky bear. Just I hate my life.
Green algae all over it.
Degrees down here. What am I doing here?
It would be like a shaved bear. It would be a ball. It's so scary to people because it looks like a fucking giant naked mole rat.
So she calls up and she's like, "Hey, by the way, is 357 Magnum good for bears?" And we have black bears. We don't have grizzlies and we don't have brown. And black bear is the smallest breed of bear. And I'm like, I don't know. I've never encountered a bear before, so let me ask.
With a real heavy grain bullet, that'd be the smallest gun that I would trust for a bear. At least a 40 and a very heavy 357.
Yeah. So
no smaller.
Okay, well, do you have any 357s there? I'm like, yeah, I got a couple. And she's like, cool, I'll be in there in a little bit. So she comes in. This lady is like 82 years old and can't even hold a Smith & Wesson Airweight. Like, she's shaking so bad with it.
Ty, let me interrupt you for 1 second. You know that thing you just said about buying a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum?
There's a reason.
That's what you give that old lady.
Yes. 12.5 inch. You know what? You go ahead and make it. You find that 16 inch with a stock 500 Magnum revolver or the cylinder. Like the Circuit Judge.
Hook her up with one of the Thompson Center Contenders single shot 500 Smith & Wesson.
Oh yeah, $1,800 later.
They're not that expensive for the not for the Thompson Centers.
No,
they're not.
No,
but I mean,
it's pretty decent priced.
Literally break her collarbone if you were to shoot it. No big deal.
Well, I mean, broken collarbone or get killed by a bear. Take your choice.
So, did you sell her a 357?
What was that, Austin?
Did you sell her a 357 or what?
Well, so we're looking around, and I'm like, well, all I really because all we have for a 357 because we just sold almost all of them. Because a lot of people like to shoot 38s out of a heavier gun. Is we had a 8-inch 100.
8-inch.
Yeah.
Pretty old lady.
Is it almost like a Ruger, their performance line, like 8-inch?
No.
Just some random shit that they did. An 8-inch
They took a GP 100 and slapped an 8-inch barrel on it.
Huh.
It looked like a standard one to me. I don't know if it was a performance style or anything. But she's like, well, that's kind of heavy. And she's like holding it with 2 hands like it's a rifle. And I'm like, yeah, it is. I don't think it's going to work for you. She's like, no, I'll just put it through the window or something. I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, I'll just, if a bear comes to the window, I'll just put it out the window on the windowsill and pull the trigger. Think you'd want.
Just make sure that your fingers aren't near the window.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Are you sure you want this, ma'am? And she's like, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm like, okay. And we went over there and ring it up.
She's gonna
okay.
Drop the gun and break her foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
She's gonna drop the gun and the bear's gonna be like, no, that's not even worth it.
I couldn't have, in good conscience, sold that lady that gun.
I tried not to. I tried to sell her something different. And she was not having it. She was like, I want this one because 357 is the best. I was like, I'll sell you a governor.
Actually, that probably would have been even better. Give her the 410.
Yeah.
Like the 410 defensive loads and the governor. That'd be good for bear. You get those
45 long Colt.
The Colt won't be bad, but one of those, those defensive rounds for the 410s that have like the 3 discs followed by the plated shot
behind the slug. Slug and then 3 discs behind it.
Or they make one that 3 discs followed by like shotgun shell. Like,
wow!
God, that's a we sell. I mean, that would be perfect for her, honestly, because they don't have that much recoil. They're really not.
No, they don't. I like them quite a bit. And then, shockwaves.
I bought one of those TAC 14s.
The Remingtons.
Yeah.
So you bought one with one less shell capacity?
I bought it because it's a Remington over a Mossberg. Just personal preference, dude. Personal preference.
Yeah. I like the Remingtons more. I just wish they would have added that last little bit of a tube to it. Which we still can't make. So yeah, honestly, it's not like you.
Just take one off of a full size and just trim it down. I mean,
yeah.
With a machine shop, I mean, that's not that bad.
Do you guys still have any mini shells from Aguila?
They're so hard to get, dude. I've got I think what I've got is just bird shot left.
Odd. But I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow about that.
Get a hold of it.
I'm almost like begging my dealers to like find me some. I have went so far. I have looked at other shops to get Aguila mini shells in my store. Even if I make $1 off of them, my owner is like, yeah, if I make $1, I make $1. It's fine. Find me them. Like, okay. He liked to demo the Shockwave to people to sell it, and in turn wind it up using all of our Aguila ammo.
Oh God!
Like from he'd go up there. He would take one box, and that's 20 shells. He'd go up there and blow one off, and then the people who are buying it would shoot the rest of the tube, and there goes 6 or 5 or 6, and then he would.
I'll be happy to send you some, but they are expensive, and you know that, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, they're like $27.
We saw them for $25 a box. So
I'm gonna go because I gotta go pick. Me and Alex are picking up our gun tomorrow. I'll go in. I'll talk to Rob, the owner, and see what he says.
I can send you like 4 or 5 boxes probably if you want. I know.
Okay.
I've only got about a half a case left, and I know he won't let me send you all of them.
All right, I'll see what he says. He was like, yeah, I don't care what it is. I'm like, you want brook shot, bird shot, slug? And he's like, any of it.
Yeah,
whatever you can find.
Whatever, that's it. It's not a big deal.
No, I like the little shockwave though, or the the Remington with those mini shells. They
you can hold that thing out like your Terminator and shoot that thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty awesome. We kind of went through 2 boxes one day though, very quickly, with a KSG.
Oh yeah, the KSG shoots them pretty decently.
28 freaking rounds.
Yeah,
and
play with it all the time.
There was something else that we grabbed. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, those little mini shells are pretty cool.
I wish some more companies would start making them other than Aguila.
Yeah, I wish they would too, but I don't know. At first, nobody liked them. They were like, oh, no, I'll just shoot a big one. And then the Shockwave came on. They were like, everybody wanted them.
Even before the Shockwave, I always liked them just because they reduced recoil and you can fit more in your gun. Especially for home defense, you don't really even need that much more powder like you've got in the 2 3/4 inch.
Well, and that's the thing, though. They fly just as fast as a standard 12 gauge. You fly at 1,250 feet a second.
Right, but you don't.
The slugs do.
That's the only thing is you just don't get the distance.
Yeah, you don't get the distance, but you get the same speed.
But yeah, in your house, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, you're not taking a hog out, 50 feet from you. You're taking a guy out, 25 feet.
So I have a question for you guys, and just wanted to know thoughts on this. Now, when I worked for the lounge I was a part of, they would, I know other jobs do it well, but they would use what's in the media to affect their prices. So, like this past election, when the Hillary election, when it came close to the election date, we would have AR, but yet we would regularly sell an AR. Let's say for like when the election season came, oh well, we're selling them for $8.99, and and some businesses will say, oh well, that's just how we have to run them because of politics, and they're harder to come by. But yet every other Sunday area didn't influence prices, and we kind of got put out on social media and publicly saying, hey, we're selling these rifles for $8.99, unlike this person who usually sells them for that.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
The whole thing with that, like you said, though, kind of goes with supply and demand. During times of crisis, like the elections, or if something happens in the globally, it is unfortunate, but because of that, people start to panic buy. They do it every single time. That drives demand up.
Yeah.
Your production go up with that. So naturally, with supply and demand, in order to stay competitive and actually make some money, you kind of have to. Because now we have times like we have right now where you can buy an AR for $500 and gun shops aren't making any money. So we have to make it at the, during those times, because otherwise we won't make anything. Like right now, it's such a good buyer's market. You can buy an AR for $500.
Yeah.
So I remember you couldn't even buy, a decent receiver for like $200 or $300 for just a receiver.
Yeah, and now you can buy the entire rifle for a couple $100 more.
Right.
Well, that's like during the election time that they raise the prices in the store, and then the used guns, they would come to me when I did numbers for them, and anything that was potentially like a pre-banned, if you will, they had me throw up on Gunbroker. So I had like a lot of AR pistols, Ruger Mini like 14s, a lot of AR style variants, some A's, and because of what's on, the Gunbroker will hopefully raise the prices of it. So what we paid $200 for, we might get $700, $800, $900 out of it, which ended up failing miserably. They fell on their face on it, kind of laughed because they're just trying to be. But now, because the Vepers are banned, I checked out their website, and sure enough, right on their main screen, right on their main shop page, look at all the Vepers that you buy for $1,200 to $1,500.
When they were $800.
Like, I'm just like, you're pitiful.
You know where I work, it's like a mom and pop kind of shop, but that's all I keep telling people with like stuff like ARs and the Russian guns and all stuff like that. Like, I've been telling people so long, like right this time of year, like if you ever wanted one, you need to get it now, and they never listen. Never listen. We tell them when we tell them now's the time to buy, but then when stuff goes up to like $1,500, $2,000, and then they start bitching, complaining about the price. Well, it's like, well, if you look to begin with, I told you when was a good time to buy, but you want to hear that.
Yeah,
you heard me trying to sell you something, and really
like
trying to help you.
See, right now in the gun industry, because honest to God, manufacturers didn't expect the election to turn out the way it did. They like mass use like potential AR bans, or semi-automatic bans, so they can hurry up, sell them, and keep up with the demand. But now, because we have Trump as the president, because now we have overstock in potential semi-autos and anything that would classify as a band, because the gun industry has the buyer's market and summer's a slow time of the year. See really big deep discounts on the ARs like we've been seeing now, like all special piles of ammo. So right now, if you want an AR and AK, something like unique to add to the collection, right now is to do it.
I just want to say AK no, because AKs are the ARs of 10 years, 5-6 years ago. AKs are just ridiculously priced now.
You can buy Deep Century for $700.
Yeah, I just some Centuries and a couple other ones that, I mean, they're going to retail for like $600 or so.
What?
Yeah. We're not even in the we're in the sleep season until August when we're not buying distributors and the big gun manufacturers aren't making more money. You're going to some really big discounts from like Ruger and Smith and Wesson and Century. Like, I can't wait for those prices.
I mean, I don't know. It for us has been the busiest summer in the history of the shop being open. At least that's what I've been told. It's pretty much every day we're kind of packed. So,
well, you're lucky then for your particular area because
yeah. Well, I mean, our shop has been there for 18 years. So we were there before almost any other gun shop has been. We have a shop down the road, not down the road, but a couple miles down the road that's, fixed and closed down because they just let anything happen there. Somebody was telling me the other day that it's like 18 yards and they call it a 50-yard range. And without a spotting scope that tells you distance, you don't really know.
I'm pretty sure I could tell 18 yards.
Well, if you've never,
yeah, you can tell 18 from 50 easily.
Well, if you've never been to an actual range that's got some distance to it, it's kind of hard to tell. A lot of people don't realize how far 50 yard really is. But then a friend of mine went there and was like, yeah, I was sitting there and I had a horrible time. I'm like, why? What happened? He's like, some dude was in the like 2 stalls down shooting a 50 BMG.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, at 18 yards shooting a 50 BMG. And I've looked up and I've seen their plate still, and it's like a 1/4-inch piece of plate still with a rubber capture behind it.
I'm surprised they even let him do that. I mean,
they just don't care. That's the thing. Like, guys go there and try to shoot as fast as they possibly can, and it's just like no holds barred.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a range you would not find me at any given time.
Yeah. And then there is a store way down the road from us. They're probably 20 miles from here. And when they opened up a couple of years ago, it was like $6.5 million. It's a $6.5 million store. It is the nicest place I think I've ever been to, aesthetically wise. And you walk in, you're just like, holy shit. Excuse my language on the podcast, but like, holy crap. Guns everywhere. You got all the tactical needs you need. During hunting season, you get all the hunting gear that you can need. And then you walk to the range, and you have 46 lanes.
Oh.
Yeah. So, you have it's 50 lanes. 46 of them are between 15-yard pistol and, some for the majority, they're 15-yard pistol. Then you have 25-yard pistol rifle, and then 50-yard pistol rifle. And then the last 4 lanes are your 100-yard ranges.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, for $6.5 million, I'd hope so.
Yeah, for real. I think gun shop spent $5 million on theirs, and they tried to sell memberships. Like the membership is like $5.25 or something. It was like something, and then they have a corporate for like a core company events. You can take them shooting and go to the lounge and eat and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Just over $1,000, and that's per year. They say that they're the best indoor range around in the area, but
well, I'll send you guys a link to their website just so you can see what it's like and everything. But they have VIP memberships, and these VIP memberships are just ridiculous. Off at a very low $10,000, and they get up to $18,000. And I couldn't tell you. I don't even know what they include. Like, they don't even tell you what it includes on the website. So you pay $18,000 for the maximum, and not a clue what you get out of it.
Do I get like a free gun every month? Like,
yeah. Do I get to just walk in and tell people to leave? Do I get a partial ownership of the place?
I wonder if it's like sports teams do with their season packets. Like, you technically own your seats, so that you might technically own like partially range.
Yeah.
On the range.
Yeah. But when I seen that, I was like, what does it come with? And nobody will tell you. So
if they're customer, like,
you have to be willing to pay for it right then and there. It comes with.
So I'm not wasting $10K on something that you're not going to tell me.
Yeah. Well, then, and we get a lot of people come in and they're like, yeah, I went down there and, it's really nice in there. It's really beautiful and the ranges look great. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I've been there. I've shot there. I'm not going to say it's not a great place to shoot, because it is. You have very beautiful, ranges. Staff, though, just sucks. They're from what I've heard, they're rude. It's like they don't want to be there. They don't want to help you unless you're willing to buy something. It's a gun grab.
That might not be the staff. I've worked. Austin was in the gun shop I worked at. The gun shop was pretty decent for what it was, and the range was pretty nice. You can take great employees and make them the worst employees in the world just because of management.
Yeah. And the thing is, the guys that opened the place, because they're brothers that opened it, I've met them before. They've come into our shop. They actually got advice from our owners before they opened their place. And it's a little ridiculous that some gun shops, and they mark their stuff up a lot just because they have to be able to, afford stuff.
Like, I'm about supporting, local small shop. look, if you're something in your store and I can go on eBay or Amazon and buy it for $10 cheaper, I don't mind spending the extra $2, $3, $4, maybe $5. But if your prices are just not good, I'm buying. Sorry.
Like their Magpul stuff's like $10 more than what you can get it off Amazon for.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Like Magpul's cheap. One thing that I hate, new gun buyers, is I had to explain to at least 3 to 4 people that call the shop and say, I bought there, I haven't shot it. We were going up to the hunting cabin. I was going to shoot with my son or whatever, and he freaked out that I have a gun. He doesn't want me owning a gun, and I want to return it. Try to explain to them, or whatever the case may be. You have to try to explain to them that even though you didn't fire it, and it's a quote unquote new gun when you bought it, we can't give you a refund. Your name, and if
you can't understand that.
Just try to tell people it's like buying a new car. Once it's in your name, it's now a car if you drove it off the lot or not.
Mm-hmm. The moment you sign the paper saying you picked it up and you put your hands on it, it's yours. Same thing with a car. As soon as you sign the car in your name and you put your butt in that seat, yours. It's aggravating sometimes too because people, we had a guy buy a year ago and came in and was like, hey, I bought this from you guys a year ago. I've never shot it. It's not something I want to, I'm not interested in it anymore. So we pulled it apart and it was never shot, Everything was super clean, like it would come from a factory clean. And unfortunately, we can't give you what you paid for it because you paid for it when guns were high. So I think we gave him like a quarter because it was like an M&P Sport, the first generation.
Oh, God.
Yeah, with the no forward assist and no dust cover.
Yeah, those aren't worth a whole lot even used.
No. And we put it up used and, we sold it like 2 days later because it was super cheap.
Yeah, but that's the only way you can sell that, an AR now is that it's cheap.
Yeah. Like Daniel Defense, we have a Daniel Defense rifle that's in our store that's been here for almost a year that nobody wants to pay the Daniel Defense price because a rifle for cheaper. That's the same thing.
Well, I actually had a guy recently come into the shop. He had a Ruger P95. Good.
Oh, God.
But, they sell just about everywhere for about $200, $250. So,
yep.
I offered him $100 for it, just straight out buy, not paid or nothing. And he got all offended about it. I was like, dude, you realize I'm going to only be able to sell this gun for maybe $200. Maybe.
That is not a pretty gun to look at either.
Well, they're not bad guns. They're actually good guns. It's just that nobody really wants them, so the price is down on them permanently, because they're an old series. But people they just say, well, it's a gun. It was worth, $500 when I bought it. Why isn't it worth that now?
We had this lady come in. Her husband had all these guns and he passed away, and he told her to get rid of them and use the money to pay off bills or whatever the case is. She brought in a gun that I've never thought I would see. She brought in one of those Marvel game guns.
What?
Marvel Game Getter.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, I don't know anything about guns. I don't know how much this is worth. Some guy, a family friend came to the house and she said, or a person told her the gun was illegal to own, and he needs to buy from her for $200.
Huh.
He didn't sell it to that guy in the face.
Yeah, somebody trying to rip somebody off who doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
His reasoning, or she told me that his reasoning was because it had a smooth bore that it was illegal. And I said, ma'am, this is a shotgun and a 22. I said, your shotgun is going to be smooth. Like, there's nothing else about it. That's how they were made. Come with us. These are, if you have the stock for it, they had the little stock that you could attach to it and make it like a short barrel. And I told her, if you have that wooden stock, do not put it. It will be a felon. And she's like, I don't even have the stock. I said, great, but if you come by, don't put it together. Don't even have it in the same room. But we offered her the deal, but I gave it right to the owner of the company. I said, this is up your book. I don't want to offend with an offer, and I can't offer anything over $500. So, and he looked at it. He goes, oh, that's a cool piece. And I think we offered her. We were going to retail it for just over $1,000. So hang on, let me do the math here. Kill it for like 1,013 for some reason. So we offered her like $607. But it was a cool gun to hold. I never thought I would one before.
We've since I started at the shop, I've held a couple of things I thought I would never ever get the chance to hold. And completely matching authentic Nazi Luger.
We have quite a few of those up in PEI.
A Nazi-proofed K98.
Oh yeah, that ain't nothing, dude. All those guns I've got, everybody's got them.
Yeah, I bet they do.
There's a Mauser.
Mauser. I ain't got that kind of money for ammo.
You want to know something rare that we got in our shop? I've got it's a Norwegian Nazi stamped experimental Mauser.
What?
That's rare. That's very rare.
What's experimental about it?
I'm not sure.
Norwegian.
We're selling it for like $5,000 or something like that.
Jesus.
But, yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's a real oddball. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's some kind of conversion for something. I don't know. But
so it could be like because all those Mausers was what, 8mm?
Most of them, yeah.
I don't know anything.
I still have 8mm ammo, technically. I have a box.
We have a box of random stuff around the shop of like random ammo. And I was going through there the other day to find some 30-30 to go test a rifle. I like digging through, and I'm digging through, and I like pick up one. I'm like 7.7 Jap, don't need that. Digging through, 303 Brit, don't need that. And by the time I got through the box, 50 rounds of 7.7 Jap and 303 Brit together.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, I don't Taco, and I don't have a Lee Enfield. What am I going to use? And I wound up with one 30-30. So, we have something to shop that's pretty cool that you guys probably have seen that I have never seen. It's a Savage. I don't know the model, but it's a bolt action 30-30 rifle.
Yeah, they made a few of them. We've had them before.
One of the coolest things I've ever seen, because I love the 30-30 caliber stuff.
It's definitely not as common here. Like, I've had people call in and ask for them. We have a lot of 30-aughts, like pump guns, and we call it like the PA gun because they're really common to hunt with in PA.
A 30-06 pump gun.
Yeah, they're a
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I have never seen that.
Like, we just say, "Oh, you want a PA gun?" Like, that's what people ask for because nobody else around the area wants to hunt with it because it's
No.
not, especially in Maryland when you can hunt AR. Delaware, are you guys still just shot?
Actually, for the most part, we have shotgun. Then we had the handgun season, and what they're now trying to allow is pistol caliber carbines. So,
That'd be cool.
Yeah, as long as you have a straight wall pistol cartridge, you can use
So no
rifle.
357 SIG.
No SIGs. No, that's a bottleneck cartridge.
That's retarded.
Cool, though.
Real retarded. How?
What did you take that possum with? Oh, my high point 9mm carbine.
No, 357 is the smallest you can use. But see, here's my argument. You know, Magnum Research makes a 3-shot 45-70 revolver.
Yeah.
So therefore, that would make 45-70 also a pistol cartridge.
Yeah.
So
we have a guy that has a 6-shot revolver.
Who makes that? I've never heard of that.
I don't know the name of it. I got the had to wait for him to come in. He's like, "Yeah, can I shoot my 500 Magnum, my 45-70 here?" Yeah, the 500 Magnum pistol has to be on the rifle lane, but you get 45-70 is fine on the rifle lane too for the rifle. He's like, "No, it's a pistol." I'm like, "Break action single shot." Hoping that's what it is. No, he's like, "No, it's a 6-shooter revolver."
Sure. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, me either.
That's awesome.
Would be fucking mad.
Yeah.
That being cheap either.
Oh no. Dude, Jesus Christ. Some of the stuff people bring in.
Gun.
Well, that's Florida for you, and that's the fucking armpit of America.
In your all's opinion, what is the gun currently on?
Say that again. You got really odd voice again.
In your opinion, what is the worst gun currently on the market?
The worst, like current production or current in circulation?
Non-Taurus, non-high point.
Actually, non-high point. And currently in circulation or production. It doesn't matter.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, there's worse than high point. And I mean, you always have had Jennings. You've had
Jimenez.
Oh, God.
Jimenez
Yes.
arms. You've had
Even.
Actually, funny story. You know, the last Jimenez arms we had in the shop, somebody gave us because they were just like, I offered them $25 for it. And he was like, "You can just have it."
I don't even want your money. Take the freaking gun.
Dude, give me the $25 and I'll buy some ammo. Like,
yeah. That's awesome.
That's fun. Or those little Raven, the little 25s that the firing pins always broke on.
Oh yeah.
That still has one.
We get people in probably 3 times a week. Hey, can you guys fix my Jimenez or my Raven? What's going on with it? Well, it's not shooting. So we look and the firing pin's broke. I'm like, we can't fix that. And it's going to cost you more than the gun itself to fix it.
I can fix it, but it's going to cost you more than what you paid for the entire gun.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And they're like, what are you talking about?
There used to be a myth up here, like back in I guess the 60s or something, that the only thing he did out of his garage was make firing pins for those things.
I bet he made a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it aggravates me sometimes with how people just buy crappy guns and expect them to work.
I would say the newer model of guns, if you will. I think the crappiest thing that I've seen. I don't want to say functional because I haven't shot one, but common sense wise would be that Taurus curve.
Oh, that was so bad, dude. That was, I mean,
Look,
don't get me wrong.
It does. Good.
it's just I feel like they were just so poorly made. I just I don't mind Tauruses, but the Curve I think was just such a bad gun.
I like
Again,
what they try to do.
I mean, it's a good concept, like deep content pocket carry. I don't like how it doesn't have any stall on it. So if you pull it, you're kind of screwed because you rely on the laser, which like to use a laser because when you're shooting, you're focused on the laser actual target, what's behind the target. Like that's why I would prefer a flashlight. But I don't know well the internals are built. Kind of hit or miss. They've been getting better with their quality control, but do I trust it as the E? I don't think I.
Well, it could get worse. You could buy a Cobra.
A Cobra?
Yeah, Cobra arms.
Yeah,
the like Derringer gun.
Yeah, but they also
they make all
semi-auto.
those.
Yeah, god awful.
Really?
They're worse.
Yes.
They're
I
worse than
haven't
High Point.
seen any.
They're
Oh
made out of,
God.
like, like hot metal guns.
Yeah. There's what am I thinking? Mine would be. Hold on. In production. I don't even know. Because I'm not going to say Taurus. And High Point's out of the question. We just discussed the shittiness of everything else.
Round 51.
Yeah. We reduced those prices to about where they need to be for those guns to move. The Remington R51 is just a giant turd.
Because I really wanted them to go over well this time. I mean, when they came out the first time, they were so bad, but I haven't sold one. I haven't heard any feedback on those guns at all since they've remade them, and they were supposed to.
We had a customer buy one a couple of days ago and came and picked it up and went out there to shot. Get this. Crimson Trace makes a laser for that gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why waste your
that
time?
That means people are actually buying it. He went out there and he said he shot, 100 or 200 rounds through it and was like, yeah, never jammed on me.
I actually find the feel of those guns at all. I actually don't think they feel terrible. But
no.
I don't know if I want to put my money into it just because of how bad the first run went.
Have you ever taken one apart, Austin?
I have not yet, no.
Buy a new one instead of cleaning it.
Oh, really?
They take down they take down like a 1911, so you have to get in the right position to pop the pin out. Once you get that out, you this is where it gets fun. There's the ripples on the barrel.
Yeah.
That's so you can hold on to it while you try to fishtail it. And then once it comes apart,
style of gun, how it comes apart then.
Huh?
It's just an older style of gun, like its assembly.
Yeah. So once you get that off, you still have to hold the barrel to pull out the firing pin assembly. So the firing pin assembly comes out of the side.
I don't know. Honestly, dude, I mean, what you're describing to me, it doesn't really scare me. I've taken apart a lot of old guns that are,
I'm just getting to the good part though. Obviously the recoil spring goes around the barrel. The only way to get the barrel to come out is to retain the firing or the recoil spring forward. The only way you can do that is by having the fingers of Chuck Norris. It doesn't work.
Apart for a long. I don't think that particular gun would really scare me. I've taken apart much worse.
With Taurus.
We'll see, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like it'd be terrible to me.
I would look it up. It gave me a run for my money the other day when I tried to pull one apart for the guy to show him how to clean it. I said, don't try to pull it apart. Just leave the barrel open scrub the barrel, and then if you have to pull the sight off to get in there, just pull out the firing pin assembly and clean that. Put it back in. Don't try to pull the barrel out. Leave it like it is. And I was like, oh, okay.
Speaking about cleaning guns, I have two pet peeves. Number one, if you're going to come in and sell a used gun,
clean it.
And two, if I'm helping a customer and we get wrapped up with them, and then I turn around and you have a gun like on the counter in 5 pieces and you add it back together, I should have the right to slap you across the face until you get to the store.
I can tell you as somebody who buys guns from people, I offer more on trade if the gun is clean.
Yeah.
If anybody ever wanted a secret to trading guns in, that's it. Like you said, just clean your gun.
Yeah, most definitely.
Again, almost like a used car. If you sell your car, clean it before it inspects it.
Yep.
Like, I purposely have low people just because I knew that I would have to take it apart and scrub the living crap out of it to get it clean again.
Yep.
Oh, Travis, you remember that Chinese SKS bullpup I was telling you about a couple weeks ago?
Don't start it, Ty.
I'll text you the amount that we sold it for, but we sold it.
You're gonna make me have a mini heart again.
There's a special place in hell for people who modify SKSs.
Thank you.
Just saying.
Any original like that, I can't stand.
And
I want to make my SKK. Okay, buy an AK.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
There's no way.
Was that person on drugs?
No, it wasn't. And
did you type that? There's way too many zeros behind
that. Oh yeah, that was like 2 days after it came in. The lady,
I sell that gun.
The lady was like, "Yeah, I want to sell my SKS, and I want to actually go for."
Well, if that's the case, we'll pump my SK and sell it.
Yeah. So I was like, ma'am, I honestly don't think it's going to happen. And she said, well, let's just see. In a couple of months, we'll lower it and see if it goes there. Huh?
Was that the consignment, the one that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Did you sell that gun to somebody? You yourself?
Yes, I did. I wrote the receipt.
You feel really bad about yourself.
I don't, though.
Really bad.
Somebody overpaid a shit ton for that gun.
Yeah. So, like, as he's like doing it, he's talking to his friend like through text and like sending him photos and asking me what it is and everything. So I'm like, I'm telling him everything because I'm expecting his friend to be a knowledgeable guy on guns and tell him no, don't do it. Totally the opposite. What's wrong with it? Why is it so cheap?
Oh my god!
I was like,
I would feel so bad about my.
I was like, there's nothing wrong with it. The lady, she just didn't want a 7.62 by 39 anymore, so she wanted an AR-15. That's why she's letting it go. She put a lot of money into it and isn't expecting to get everything back for it. He was like, oh, all right, well, here's my card.
I just typed in on Gunbroker SKS, and all pups that I'm seeing are around $100.
Much?
The most expensive one I'm seeing is $960.
Those people
are you guys on crack?
I don't know where those numbers came from because when we looked at it, it was like $550.
If you ever pay more than $400 for an SKS, you are a retard. You are a stupid person.
Unless you're up in PA, because all of them sell for $100 to $600.
So then he comes in a couple of days after paying for this SKS, and we're like, oh god, he's gonna get his money back. He looked it up. All right, we just lost a huge sell. And he comes in. He's like, I want to sell you guys a shotgun. So we're like, okay, show us this H&R, because that's what a prime shotgun is. Some of the people here in Pasco
H&Rs
County
don't make bad stuff.
Dude, if you get an H&R, you can send it right to me because I will sell them guns so quick in Delaware.
So we're expecting some single shot, 16 gauge, something crazy. He whips out a Benelli M2 tactical, like brand new.
Yeah, sounds like that. Thank you.
I'm like, what?
Say what?
I'm like, okay. And he sold it to us, and here soon we're going to be having it on Gun Broker. And the only bad thing about Benelli is if they're not new, they don't sell too well.
Actually, I sold one of those. I didn't buy it in. Guns randomly up in my office and with a sticky note that said "sell this on Gun Broker." So I don't know if it was the owners or we bought it from someone. I've sold a used M2 on Gun Broker to $800, but that bought it apparently was a police officer or something. He's like using this as my shotgun, and I'm like, all right, great tax write-off. So I mean, you can kind of get close to retail. I don't.
So
well, it depends on where you are in the country.
How do you guys feel on? Well, have you ever heard of an Ishapur M2? Or no, I'm sorry, A21 or 2A1.
Ishapur
2A1.
Is that Ishapur that is the manufacturer?
Yes.
I've never heard of it, actually. Ishapur, Pore 2A1. A rifle.
You're
2x50.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you remember when I was still working at the pawn shop? I sent you a picture of the Lee Enfield that was in 308, spoilerized.
Yeah.
I had not a clue what it was, because I haven't really gotten to hold on to too many, surplus rifles. And
from India.
Yeah, it's an Indian Enfield, chambered in 308.
Travis, remember that when you were in Delaware and I showed you that one that we had, that Enfield that's a 410?
Yeah, Ishapur makes those.
Yeah, also Indian.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah, so
yes,
that's where they came from. They were British, quote unquote British guys. They're all made in India.
Yeah, well, the way I've heard it, they took the 303 British receivers and then just put a 308 barrel on it, and rebuilt the bolt to fit for a 308. And that's what I've heard. That could be completely wrong.
Now, I've never seen one of the 308 conversion ones, but I know that they're out there. But yeah, 'cause it's not too big of a convert 303 to 308.
You have to. I think, is it working at the barrel?
Yeah, you just got your barrel and your head spacing. Cause I'm pretty sure the bolt face is going to be real close.
I think the 308's a little smaller than the 303.
But the whole thing with the bolt face is not going to be that much different, though.
No. It's going to pick it up and put it down range, but the barrel and the head spacing is what you got to worry about.
Yeah.
But the old shop I used to work at has one, and it's pretty cool.
I don't know. I'm actually thinking, because my birthday comes up on August 1st, I'm going to see if my boss will give me, less than shop cost on the one that we have in the shop, the 410 one. That's kind of cool, and you never really see them.
Yeah, the 410s are really hard to find. I think I've only seen like 3 on the internet at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The rarity of it is all.
Yeah, I want to get eventually at some point get a 303 British Enfield. Although the ammo is kind of expensive, it's just really cool.
Well, it's a good one anymore that's not been sporterized. People sporterize almost all of them, and it really it fucks them up.
Yeah. And to find try to restock one though, to where like the military grade stuff, is, almost as much as the gun is.
Yeah.
But I really like that SMLE Mark III style stuff. It's really nice action.
Yeah. I've been looking at that 410 for a little while now, but we'll see. Maybe come August 1st, I might have one.
Now, I told Travis about this because I have really crazy ideas, and I think that they would work out perfect. So take a Mosin 9130 and cut it to like 16 and a half inches.
You better be rechambering it, because if you tell me that with that 7.62 by 54, that's incredibly stupid.
Well, then once you do that, now shoot your 7.62 by 54R with a lighter, punch behind it, and have a pretty cool gun.
No, I mean, I personally, I still think that's too big of a caliber, too long of a shell casing, too much powder for, even if you load it light, for that short of a barrel.
Well, I mean, you have to think the Model 44s, the Mosins that were built like that. That's what they are.
Yeah, those are junk. They're actually terrible.
I wouldn't say that. You really can't, make a terrible Mosin. But shop, I might, maybe an 18-inch. That'd be kind of fun.
No, I mean, personally, I wouldn't say. In my opinion, I wouldn't go anything less than a 20-inch barrel on that kind of a cartridge. And even that, I wouldn't want it even really that short, to be honest. But that's just me.
Yeah. I think an 18-inch, I mean, I'm a pretty big guy. I can handle that 7.62 by 54R pretty well.
Now, you know what I would like to see in, if we're going to talk about fantasy guns, stuff that we'd like to see made, I want to see a modern gun such as a Glock or, something similar, like a polymer frame striker fire, but in 7.62 by 25. I think that Tokarev round is one of the nastiest cartridges out there, and I really think they would make a modern gun in that.
The only problem with the Tokarev, though, is just so hard to find.
Maybe where you're at. I mean, Tokarev's actually pretty common where I'm at, and the ammo is even pretty common. Like that. I mean, this could be where I live, but
yeah,
I'd like to.
It's like what's the AK 74 used? The 545 by
the 545
something.
Yeah. Well, that kind of, everybody liked it before. It was it gained popularity because the surplus ammo for it was super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But now the ammo is really hard to get, and it's quite expensive. So, I also, a good buddy of mine, I wanted to see somebody make a conversion for an M1 carbine to make it 7.62 by 25. I think that would be really cool too.
That'd be kind of cool.
That cartridge in a rifle like that.
Travis, the last podcast, I kind of wish manufacturers would start remanufacturing, like bring back the M1 carbine or your M1 Garand, redo some of the, just old
brands. I mean, you can get a new Garand.
I haven't seen them,
but we're like, you get a brand new Springfield M1 Garand M1A. I believe Rock Island or another company makes the 30 carbines.
All sorts of companies.
It might be Palmetto State.
Yeah, there's Citadel makes the carbines. A couple other companies do.
Yeah, I've seen Citadels, and I've seen the carbines in M1As. I haven't seen the Garands though.
Yeah, they're out there, but nobody really wants them. Everybody wants the old stuff.
Yeah,
I want the new stuff.
Well, me, honestly, if I'm paying the same price for a new one versus an old one, I'd probably want an old one just for the history of it. But I mean, that's just my preference.
So, Austin, out of every here, the most expensive gunsmith, do you have any gunsmithing gripes or pet peeves that people do?
Stop buying Ruger Mark 1 through 3s and coming in and bitching about them today. It's like 2 boxes, and they're like, I can't figure this out. I put it back.
Dude,
Well,
the jigsaw puzzle sucks.
They want me to sit there and show them how to put them back together, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, what do I do next time? I say, don't take it apart. Just
Run the swab through it, or bring it in and let me clean it.
Just run a swab down the barrel, reach what you can inside the chamber with a Q-tip or something, and I know I'm going to get ridiculed for telling people to use Q-tips, but I don't care. I use them. I always have. Don't care. But clean what you can reach, and trust me, that gun's going to be fine. Like, you're overthinking it too much. But yeah, that's my major, like, quote unquote gunsmithing gripe, and I wouldn't even really call myself a gunsmith. I just work on stuff from time to time. But if you don't know how to do it, take your time and first off, see if you can find somebody who can help you. But if you can't, just go slowly and watch YouTube videos the best you can. Don't just try and wing it and do it yourself.
Let's talk about it at the gun range.
Talk about what at the gun range? You broke up.
Let's talk about idiots at the gun range.
Idiots at the gun range. Okay.
I hate when people buy Zev and agency arms and think they're top shooters at that point.
And then you go and you can outshoot them with a fucking Sky pistol.
Yeah. Like we have customers that come in and they're like, yeah, I just went and bought this, Zev Glock 34. And it's got a 1.5 pound trigger. And that's all they like to say is 1.5 pound trigger. Mm. And they get out there with their 33 round mag and they just launch 33 rounds as fast as they can, which is actually kind of slow. And they try to be like, yeah, I'm super fast and I have this, $1,200 gun. You can't beat me.
I guarantee I can take a bone stock factory Glock, make my modifications to it, and I've done it. I can tell you right now, I can put you an 8-ounce trigger on a factory gun.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd never recommend it. It's incredibly stupid. I don't know why people want that. On a pistol, a 2-pound trigger is more than enough for any average shooter. But everybody just wants to be like you said. They want to feel like they're a top guy at the range, and they want the expensive, super light trigger. And to me, you're not impressing me. But what impresses me is your actual results. Let me see you shoot good first.
Yeah. Hey, the funny thing is, talking about that, Iraq veteran 8888, him and Dad did a video about, it was titled What You Got. And they said, you don't need that newest thing on the market. You don't need that highest end gun, because the only thing that you're doing is you're spending a lot of money on the gun with the money that's going to make you a shooter. But the thing is, you need to shoot what you have, and you have to learn the basics. They said if you carry Mitchell, a regular old, tourist PT 111, and give him the Springfield shoot, he's going to shoot game with. He might get a little bit tighter group with the Springfield because that's what he's used to, or whatever the case may be. But the more expensive and the newer guns, accuracy wise, are not going to help you be a better shooter. The reason why people buy in stuff running competitions, but they've already learned pretty much the shooting basics.
Mm-hmm. And, you can pretty much train Jerry Mutual like anything, and he'll shoot you, out shoot it.
Shoot anybody with his offhand.
Yeah.
Holding the gun upside down, his pinky to shoot it at 500 yards.
With a 22.
That man is incredible.
Well, and even he'll tell you all that type of shooting just comes from practice. You got to get out every day and shoot, and it's not something you're going to be able to do cheaply. You've got to be able to put time, effort, and money. And he'll even tell you, like, if you ever watch his videos, he says like he'd never be able to have done this if he didn't get his sponsors. Like, it would have never happened.
Oh yeah. Like, I love when he does the videos inside and all of his winning streaks. But more importantly, you see that giant wall of ammo.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that wall. That's incredible.
He's pretty awesome. I kind of want
will
to
say he's probably,
go ahead.
other than I believe it's Max Mitchell, who's the shooter for SIG. Between the two, those are my top. Those two are my shooters.
Well, I wouldn't, Jerry Mitchell, Max Michelle, which is the guy who shoots for, I believe, Glock now.
Does he?
I know he shot. I know he used to shoot for Glock. I think he may have switched up to somebody else. Those three guys, because Casey Rivera has also beaten Max Michelle a couple of times.
Yeah.
For the world titles and stuff. But those three guys are, the top dogs on speed shooting. But the owner of my shop is actually shot in the same group as Jerry Mutulik has. And
nice.
Yeah, so he's got, he sat there and talked to him and everything and all the good jazz. And he said that Jerry shot a 8-shot revolver on a course that he was shooting, and all these other guys were shooting 1911s, 2011s, and Glocks, and he was out shooting them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is a legend.
Not the gun, it's the person. No matter what you think, it's
yeah. These guys are shooting, 2.5, 1.5 to 3 pound triggers, and Jerry's over there with a 5.5, 7 pound trigger, wrapping them off faster than, almost as fast as a full auto. He's just, that's it.
He still had the fastest reload for a revolver.
He's got 6 shots on target, reload, 6 shots on target, in like 1.8 seconds.
It's just incredible. Oh, I can't even imagine.
There's a video of him doing it. It's like, did he reload? It's just he throws them in there and keeps it going.
Reload, and his hand moving at all times. Like the way that he had to figure out how to hold the gun, the reload, and get the cylinder closed back on target as fast as he could.
Mm-hmm.
It's how he transitions pretty much like 1, 2, 3, and then back on target, and it's like hold up. Like it almost looks like he takes the video camera and fast forwards it. That unbelievably fast. What were you saying, Ty?
Uh-oh.
Oh, he left.
I left. Back
you guys there?
He's back. There we go. Hi.
I don't know what's going on. It is something weird.
I don't know what's going on.
Link to the video though. Here we go.
If you could own any gun right now, what would it be? Just magically appear up.
M1 Garand.
That's a hard question. that answer requires thought.
I would hands down do a lot of stuff. I would do anything minus sexual explicit favors for a medium grade M1 Garand.
I will say, my buddy owned. I've shot it. It's amazing. I love it, and the M1 Garand has the most satisfying sound in the world.
Yeah.
Ding. I have to go with the baby. I would have to go with the Paper 30 carbine.
The what?
The 30 carbine, the Paper model.
Oh, okay. A little side folding metal stock.
Here's the biggest thing I kicked myself in the butt for. Before I bought that Taurus that blew up on me, I originally had on layaway a 30 carbine stock, not the para. I had it on layaway. For like the asking price was like $800. Like, you know what? I'll make payments, but I don't care. Off. I put like 200 and something down, and then like the week after, the time in the shop for like 300 and three and a quarter or something like that. And I'm like, well, I can buy that. I can open carry it when I go. Which didn't happen, obviously, because it blew up the same day that I took it to the gun range. When I went back and I'm like, oh, do you have that 30 carbine? They said, oh, no, it's on layaway after you took it off. And I kicked myself in the butt.
That's how it always goes with the gun that you want. It always gets bought by somebody else.
Yeah.
How it goes.
Well, the thing is, I know who bought it. A really big collector of World War II stuff. Like, they had I believe it was a Remington 870. It was a trench gun with, they traced it back. It was like an Air Force, like, shotgun. It was an Air Force trench gun, which was really weird. And he bought that at it, and then he came in the shop, and I'm like, no, you can, because I'm going to take, he has a World War collection going on, and I'm like, this will be better collection than it will in my life.
Yeah, as I say, because the Air Force is sitting in trenches, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
They did
you
what?
think about it, I would assume that it would be like an ejector. That, the shotgun would go with you, but.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna have to be signing off. I have to do a couple things.
What time is it?
9:40.
All right, we'll pop it up, but real quick, Austin, any guy in the world, right now.
I would want a 100% original in pristine condition Gatling gun, because I would then sell it and buy a lot of other guns.
Touche. Right, that sounds good. All right, guys. Well, I guess we're done for the night. We'll coordinate to do it again sometime soon.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys soon then.
So until next time, we catch you later.
We'll catch you later.
I really need to work on an outro.
Yeah, we do need to come up with that. Bye.
Okay, bye.